So when we talk about price, this is probably one of the most difficult, pivotal disciplines that you're going to need when you're putting a value to your product. You need to set a price that covers your costs. Remember, I told you that when I was building this ladder, nobody had ever told me about including wages. I always thought that I would just put a profit in. But actually, if I were not paid for my time spent, I wasn't actually making a wage, I was losing money. So you're going to build a graph, and you're going to have the materials and the supplies on this graph, and you're going to make lines for every single piece of equipment that you're going to need for this product or this service that you're going to be doing. For instance, if you're going to be a seamstress, and I use that because I can throw in different parts of being a seamstress, are you going to be doing it by hand? So you need to put into the list the cloth, the thread, the needles. You're going to put into it, maybe you're going to have to dye some of this, so you're going to need to put in the powder for the dye, and then you're going to need to add a wage for what your time costs in doing it. And then you have to evaluate whether you're going to have to rent a space or you're going to be doing it at home. And then, are you going to build your business by adding a sewing machine? So you're going to have to factor in saving for a sewing machine. And then also, one thing I totally forgot, what if your machine breaks? You have to factor in a percentage in case you need to repair that sewing machine. So in this, there's transportation going to and from the market. There's electricity if you're going to need that to run a sewing machine. You're going to need to add your materials. What other expenses are you going to need? If you're doing a perishable product, for instance, strawberries, there's a certain amount of time during which this fruit is fresh. What do you do when it gets old? Are you going to be able to cook it and make it into a jam and have a side product on this same fruit so that you can survive during the off season when there is no actual live fruit for you, and you can sell the jams? Or are you going to sell both at the same time? Are you going to need to refrigerate it if it's a live fruit or a live product? So how many units are you going to need to sell to break even? So you're going to put a list of all your materials, your labor, your wages, your cost for the machines, the breakdowns. You're going to add into it a percentage profit. And then when you add that up, when you get a baseline price on that product, you have to go over to your competition. And you're going to see whether that price that you're coming in at is more expensive than your competitors, or is it going to be less expensive and you're just going to have to sell more of it to make a living. Or when you add a certain percentage of profit and you mark it up, does it become so high priced that you push yourself out of the market? What if you are the same price as your competitors? Let's say all of you sell strawberries and jams, and you're all right next to each other. If you just break even for that day because you're all selling it at $1, you haven't made a living. Remember, if you're just surviving, you're not profiting. Now, promotion is the fourth leg. There's price, promotion, place, and product. Promotion is the fourth leg. You're going to have to understand who your customer is. Who will you be selling this service or this product to? Describe in as much detail. How old are they? Where do they live? Where are they coming from? Do they pass by every day? Is the place where you're selling this service or this product convenient for them? How will you let people know about your product? I go back to the strawberries because this was a very typical item that we were selling in one of the countries where I was. And one of my vendors decided that what she was going to do where she was going to sell these strawberries outside of school. And she was going to sell one strawberry for a tiny little 1 cent or whatever, because she figured out that children, when they ran home with these fruits, were going to be the best promoters of her products because they were going home to the parents who were the actual buyers in the house. So how are you going to promote it? Can you draw signs for it? Can you give away free samples? You have to include that in your pricing then. So that's how you're going to be promoting your product. Are you going to be telling it through networking? Are you going to be able to tell your friends who don't use this product and decide they really need this product? For instance, if you're making soap, do you put almond scent in your soap so you become known as the almond soap lady? That's a way of differentiating. When you promote it, you become known as the almond lady. Oh, I sell only lemon soap, or oh, I sell the best lemon cake. When you promote it, usually in the areas, it's through word of mouth. It's through samples. So you have to be prepared in your pricing to have in there a cost that's called giving it away.